Hey everybody, it's been a little while since I last did one of these video blogs. I'm doing this one from home, so I've got the Skype headset on. But anyway, I wanted to get around to this. I've got a couple of minutes while my kids are out at the toy store with their cousins to give a kind of an update on what's going on. Some of you know that a week ago now, Alexi and I went to a place called Beaver Camp in the New York Adirondacks. It's the camp where I went when I was 11 years old and became a Christian and went every year and accepted Jesus every year till I was 14. Went all the way through till I was 18. I became a counselor in training there. I became a staff member there. And that was the first place I learned to have a personal devotional or quiet time every day. And that carried through college. So this camp was really, really instrumental in most of what happened spiritually in my life before the age of about 20, 21. So I made a commitment last year that I would find the time and find a way to be there if they invited me to come and speak. So I went and talked to the teen camp. I gave talks on a number of things, prodigal son, and that whole stream of logic of how modern culture has inverted the way people become happy, and how they've been sold a bill of goods that they need to completely reverse in their mind. And I tried to reinsert a biblical view of what we were made to be into their minds in a way that was exciting as I could pull off. I did a seminar on Christian atrocities historically and how to handle those as a Christian believer, and a lot of that content's going to come out in a few weeks. I'm going to do a 2-week series called "What's Christianity Ever Done Good in the World?" Right when students come back to UW, hopefully to attract some college students to some good thinking. I'm going to link it to Bible passages where Jesus and Paul teach about suffering for the gospel, and how one of the ways in which we'll suffer for the gospel is through slander, and how one of the things we need to respond with is not just emotional faith but intellectual toughness, to know when we're being slandered, to know that it is slander, and then to recognize how we need to overcome that. So there's that. Some things happening at the church. I had my bi-monthly giving and attendance meeting with Jane Collins, who's our financial administrative secretary sort of person, and things are good. Apparently attendance is up 20% over last summer, and giving is up a pretty good bit over last summer. So it seems like things are doing well. But here, let me tell you something about giving and attendance and me being the senior pastor. I think that I am too prone to see accomplishments of High Point Church as my own accomplishments. I think that's going to be true that's going to be one of the things I'm going to struggle with as I'm the senior pastor of the church. And I think that I am prone to be a pragmatist and to focus on and even fixate on how giving is going, how attendance is going, and I just think that'll be really bad for me spiritually. So one of the things I've done right now is I have about a 5 or 6 minute meeting every other month on giving and attendance. Now I'll hear about giving from Jeff Farquhar when some of these things come up in elders meetings, but I don't go look at these each week. I don't go on Monday morning and find out how many people came on Sunday. I don't want to know, because I don't want that to affect the way I'm doing ministry. I want to go to the Lord. I want Him to teach me what He wants me to say and how to say it. I want that to have only a very slight relationship to the pragmatics of what's happening, so that my ministry can be a spiritual ministry, not a CEO businessman's kind of ministry. And I think that my heart is prone in some negative directions. I think like a lot of people's hearts would be prone to negative directions, but I need to take those precautions. So just so you know, I won't say that much about attendance and giving, partly for that reason. A couple things going on for you to pray for. The Elders Retreat is going to be going on September 10th and 11th. It's going to be a Friday and a Saturday where the elders are all going to go away to this camp and talk about the vision for the church and where we're going and how it's going to be structured and how we can integrate the different ministries and departments of the church together, so we're all going in the same direction. We're not doing stuff we shouldn't be doing. We're focusing on our energy on the things that God has called us to do. And so pray for us that we'd have wisdom, that we'd work well with each other, that we'd learn to love each other and be examples of that love to the church. It's really important that we have your support. And then also, I just completed with the ACE, the Christian Education Committee, the fall Adult Bible Fellowships, basically our sort of Sunday school fellowship hour. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. I think you're going to like it. What's going to be happening? We're going to have a new getting to know High Point Church class for new people that's focused on new people who are nowhere in their faith. because I think that's necessary with the kind of visitor exposure we're getting right now. We're going to have 2 classes essentially on Christian spirituality, one by Debbie Biddle called Experiencing Personal Renewal, and then Dietrich Gruen, who's been reading voraciously in areas of the will of God, is going to be doing a 6-week class on finding God's will in our life, which I think is incredibly important because I can't think of a question in Christian faith that's more important. I mean, figuring out how to do what God actually wants us to do. That is faith lived out. It's an extremely important question. But at the same time, you talk to most people and they're very confused about it. You know, what it actually looks like to find God's will. Can I find it? Am I supposed to know God's secret will? He's going to handle that stuff. That's going to be great. And then all the rest of the classes are all going to be Old Testament classes. So we're going to call all that whole section of classes the Old Testament Challenge. There's going to be a class by Kevin Chow on interpreting Old Testament narrative. There's going to be a class on the book of Isaiah and the major prophet. There's going to be a class on the Psalms by Bill Taylor. The Isaiah one's Bill Stevenson. And then there's going to be a class, I think it's Mark Finley, who's going to be doing the manuscript Bible study in Ecclesiastes. So there's going to be a really big chunk in the Old Testament, which we were like, oh, is that too much Old Testament? But then when we realized I'm going to be preaching through Mark. So first hour, you're going to get all New Testament. You're going to get Mark. You're going to get Gospel from the New Testament. And then ABF hour will challenge you to go and look into the Old Testament. So I think it'll be a good 1-2 punch on Sunday morning. Tomorrow, my brother, Stanford Gibson, this is August 23rd or something like that, is going to be preaching. He is going to be great. He told me today that he has actually sought worldwide for giving really interesting and funny talks. That should be put in context by the fact that he is sought that way as an engineer, I think he's a hydrology and sedimentation engineer. So he said, now you got to realize that I'm sought after as a very interesting presenter among the most boring people in the world. But I've heard his sermons. They're extremely thoughtful. You're going to want to come and listen very attentively because he gets 3 months to write a sermon. So they're really good. So I'm excited about having him come and share with us. He's going to be speaking about the later life of Philip the evangelist in the book of Philippians. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going on, and I hope that this has been informative for you.